Hi guys, it's Stephanie with Domestic Life 101, and this is my video about how we have a big stockpile of food that we're kind of trying to get through with our meal plan. We're obviously not going to go through all this food anytime soon, but I just don't see a need to go to the grocery store to buy food when we have all of this. And I will show you this. We have this smaller freezer, and then this great big freezer, and this is actually in a shed. This is my husband's stuff. We have stuff stored on top of it because we don't have a garage. We just have a shed, and so we're trying to make everything work in here. So let me get started. I'll show you kind of what we have going on here, and I do apologize for the lighting, but this is a shed. So this is what we call our treats or convenience food freezer. We have, it's pretty full, as you can see. And we actually buy our meat wholesale through my father-in-law. He runs a butcher shop, so we get a lot of meat wholesale through him. And we've also purchased a couple of animals like lambs, or we purchased, yes, 2 lambs, 2 goats, and a pig through a 4-H program. So we've had that all processed too. So we have a lot of meat and stuff in here, but we also have things like tater tots and Mexican lasagna. And I mean, you can see this is treats. This is like summer sausages and jerky. This is where I keep my butters and my veggies, Cool Whip, that kind of stuff. And that goes, I mean, that goes feet down. You can see there is a lot of food in here. Here's some veggies. This is going to be a whole organizational process this summer, but for now this is just what I'm dealing with. And so that's the first freezer. And I'm going to get this stuff off of the second freezer so I can show you guys that one. That's the real meat for meals freezer. And here is the big boy. This one has, oh, and my husband also got a couple of deer, and I got a couple of deer during deer season this past fall. So we have 4 deer processed in here as well. So we have no shortage whatsoever of meat. You can see that ham there. We have some ground beef. We have a whole bunch of venison burger. The ground beef I basically use for like hamburgers pretty much. And the venison, excuse me, is what we use for tacos and spaghetti and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we have venison steaks. My husband picked up some of these because they were on sale. I don't understand quite why, because we have a ton of breakfast sausage in here too. We also got a really great deal on some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So my father-in-law actually packaged those up. And they're just, this is just 2 chicken breasts in there. And you can see by my hand how absolutely huge they are. One of these chicken breasts will feed my husband, our youngest, and I for dinner. If I make both, it's because we have 2 extra kids with us. With my stepkids, when they come over, we'll actually make both. And we usually end up with leftovers from that. But we bought, I think 120 pounds of the chicken breasts, and we bought 80 pounds of New York strips, and we have a ton of bacon and pork sausage from having our pig processed. And like, this is the pork tenderloin. There's some of the steaks. And we have venison steak under there. Let's see if we can get this. Sorry about all the noise. I mean, you can see we have a lot of meat in here. And so this is what I've been working around. This is Italian sausage. I can use that in like spaghetti. And we have, I mean, there's just a ton. There's lamb chops down there. We have lamb steaks. We have lamb bratwurst, which I'm sure you guys have seen on some of my meal plans. My father-in-law made the best lamb brats, and the kids actually asked for them. And then we even have a package of ground bear. So that'll be an interesting evening. Yeah, you can see there's a big supply of pork sausage. And then we also have like bratwurst. We can make bratwurst patties out of these extra packages that that weren't encasing. Yeah, that's all breakfast sausage right there. We also have Polish sausages, and there's some more bratwurst. There's just a ton of meat in here. So when I tell you guys that I'm trying to use what we have, this is what I mean. And I'll also show you what we have in the fridge over our freezer and what we have in our pantry food storage for the dry goods. So you'll kind of see where I'm coming from, why we don't end up spending that much on groceries in the winter. And here is our food pantry. As you can see, this is another area that needs to be organized, just pretty much like the rest of my house. There is a ton of food in here. We have side dishes like macaroni and cheese, and there's pasta sides and rice sides in there. There's soups. There's just a ton of stuff. We have a ton of cereal, and so this is what I'm trying to get through. I would really like this to be very pared down, which is why I'm trying to make meals out of here, so that we can end up organizing it, and then once a month when I go to the grocery store, it'll be stocked, and then it'll actually look like we're running out of food when we get to go to the grocery store. And right next door, here is the freezer on top of our fridge. We have meatballs. There's some corn up here. We get these juices. My husband loves to make juice out of these packages. I store our extra American cheese in here because that way it's nice and convenient. I have stuff, let me see here, like this is browned ground beef. I keep packages of browned ground beef in my fridge or my freezer so that I can make stuff very quickly. English muffins. These are leftover potato skins from Super Bowl, and chicken nuggets from Super Bowl, and we have a few more tater tots there. There's a couple of steaks. So when I do my meal plan for next week, it's going to include a lot of what's up in here to try to use that stuff up. These are breakfast burritos that I made. That video I'll link below in case you're interested in that one. We also have like just some ends of stuff like French fries, and a lot of times I'll eat this stuff for lunches. And then we have summer sausage and stuff back there. So this is what I'm talking about when I say we have plenty of food. My husband and I own a landscaping company, and we live in Michigan, so we make most of our money in the summer, so that's when we buy most of our food. It just makes sense. And we buy it wholesale through his father, so we get cases and cases of meat at a time. We actually purchased the shed just so that we could put the freezers that we had purchased in there, so that we had enough room for all of our meat. Now, when we get to spring, I would like to be able to pare down to just the large freezer and unplug the small one. But that's just something we're going to have to figure out when we get there. As I get through these organizational projects of these areas, I will film those for you as well, and you can see what they look like afterwards.